Hello and welcome to the YouTube channel HealthQ, the place where my mission is to motivate you to look at the brighter side of the health. I am your host, physiotherapist Meghna Dave, and in today's video, I'm going to explain you why you experience crocodile tears after Bell's palsy. Interested to know about this? If yes, make sure to watch this video till the end. So let's begin. After Bell's palsy, there are many residual symptoms that exist with many of the patients. It's not necessary that if you have got Bell's palsy, you will be left with any kind of residual symptoms, but if you have got a more higher degree of nerve injury, there are higher chances that you will have some residual symptoms. What are residual symptoms? Residual symptoms are nothing but some of the laid back problems that you are left with after your Bell's palsy recovery happens. These symptoms are like weakness of your facial muscles, which means your facial muscles doesn't regain its strength as it was before the paralysis. Apart from that, synkinesis is also one of the common complication or else residual of Bell's palsy. The third common residual of Bell's palsy is crocodile tears. What do I mean by crocodile tears? Well, crocodile tears stands for watering of the eyes at the time when you either smell, or else you see, or else while you chew food, or whenever you talk. Now, why does this happen? We are going to understand about that in this video. But before that, I would also like to mention two more residual complications or symptoms of Bell's palsy. And those are contracture of the facial muscles and pain in and around the facial region. Now in this video, I'm just going to talk about the crocodile tears in particular. I'm going to explain you why do you experience, and then I will talk about the management of crocodile tears. So crocodile tears, as I mentioned, is some kind of watering that you experience post Bell's palsy because of either thinking, smelling, viewing or chewing of food. Even if you talk at that time also, you might get crocodile tears or else watering in the eyes. So why this is happening? Let's understand about it. It's basically the seventh cranial nerve or else the facial nerve is responsible for three important functions. The first function is your facial expression, obviously, which you know. Apart from that, the two more important function of this nerve is first, your salivation. Yes, whenever you are trying to chew something, or else whenever you speak, whenever you eat, the saliva that is generated inside your mouth is also being controlled by the seventh cranial nerve. And the third important function is the taste buds of your front third of your tongue. Now, after Bell's palsy, when the nerve is regenerating, the salivary fibers, which means the nerve fibers that supply to your salivary region, or else which supplies to your submandibular gland, which is responsible to secrete saliva in your mouth, this nerve kinds of branches out, which means this nerve kinds of aberrantly regenerates and starts supplying to the lacrimal glands, the glands which are located in your eyes and are responsible for tearing. This is an abnormal branching, the same way as it happens during synkinesis. And that's the reason, the way in which synkinesis leads to involuntary contraction of certain muscle group. Similarly, synkinesis of this particular nerve fiber also leads to activation of the lacrimal glands instead of activation of your submandibular gland. And that's why after Bell's palsy episode, when you have recovered and later on when you see something related to food, when you chew your food, when you talk, at that time, whenever the submandibular gland gets stimulated, along with that, your lacrimal gland also gets stimulated, and that's why there is this excessive tearing happens. Now, everybody doesn't get this, but most of them get that. Which means if you are having synkinesis, there are higher chances that you would also have the symptoms of crocodile tear. But if you are having a mild level of synkinesis, then you might be spared from this. Along with that, there is one more mechanism which explains this crocodile tear symptom. This mechanism is an hyperexcitability or is cross-firing of the synapse. Synapse is nothing but exchange of impulses from one nerve fiber to another nerve fiber. So in synkinesis, what happens is there is overexcitation or else over fast or abnormal synapse movement or else cross firing of the nerve impulses that happens. That's why whenever your salivary nerve fiber gets activated, it also kinds of overfires and starts supplying to the lacrimal side of the nerve as well, leading to crocodile tear symptoms. Now, the question arises is how to manage. So the way the synkinesis can be prevented, crocodile tears can also be prevented to a certain extent. And that's the reason it's very important that when you are in the initial days of Bell's palsy, which are the most important phase of Bell's palsy, where people make the biggest mistake, and that is of overdoing exercises. Similarly, people try to chew more on the affected side, right? This has to be avoided. If you are in the early phase of Bell's palsy where your muscles have not recovered, your movements have not recovered, if you feel loss of taste sensation, loss of salivation, don't try to chew on that side of your mouth, because when you are trying to do that, the nerve is getting activated and this nerve kind of then reaches to different areas, and also this nerve starts supplying and starts branching out and also might lead to this crocodile tear symptoms in future. Similarly, also make sure that you are keeping your eyes closed whenever you are sleeping in order to protect your eyes from getting dried, because sometimes dryness also leads to irritability of your eyes and kind of increase your symptoms in future. So yes, one is the prevention part. As I said, don't try to overdo exercises, even chewing exercises in the initial days of Bell's palsy. This is super important. Once you start recovering, then only start your chewing gum exercise or any kind of exercise, and that too only start once your physiotherapist tell you. Yes, chewing exercises are important to train your muscles and also to prevent synkinesis if you are starting developing that, but that phase is very different. It's not something that should be started immediately. And if you want to prevent these symptoms, so make sure you refrain from all the vigorous activity during the time when your nerve is recovering. Allow your nerve to recover at its own place in order to prevent the synkinesis of your lacrimal gland, or as you can say, crocodile tears. Second is the treatment itself. Now, unfortunately, there are no exercises as such that can help you to prevent or else to treat your crocodile tears. But medical management and surgical management of this do exist. There are certain medicines that helps to reduce the symptoms of crocodile tear. Botox therapy or else Botox injections are also being used to reduce the crocodile tear symptoms in patients who have this crocodile tear symptoms to an extent that they are uncontrollable. And third important way is surgical management. Ophthalmologist or else eye specialist uses certain procedures that can help to reduce the symptoms of crocodile tear. Hence, it's important that if you are having crocodile tear symptoms, make sure to see an ENT surgeon or else eye specialist to identify and find out how you can deal with your symptoms of crocodile tears. So friends, this was a short but an educational video about why you experience crocodile tears at first place and what is a simple way of preventing it. I hope I could explain you in a way that it was understandable for you. If yes, make sure to like this video, share this video and do subscribe to HealthQ channel. I'll see you in another video. Thank you.